and waiting and waiting so patiently for me to finally get these types of videos out on this channel, okay? And it's my question answer video that's gonna pretty much go through everything from my C-section and my tips on trying to get a flatter stomach after a C-section, my experience with the C-section, all of the things that happened before, during, and after, okay? In addition to a lot of other questions you guys have been asking me actually on the bottom of my videos that I've been kind of saying I'm gonna go ahead and answer in this type of video, or I've kind of loosely answered, but said I would still go into more detail on in this type of video. So we're gonna delve into those questions today, okay? Now, because I asked you guys on Instagram to give me a whole bunch of questions for me to answer in this particular video, I'm gonna end up having to break this up. More than likely, there's gonna be a part 2 to this particular video here, okay? Because I didn't realize how many questions I was going to get. They're still coming in, and I've had my post up for the last couple of hours. So y'all keep them coming. I will keep doing these videos, giving you guys updates, and y'all know I keep it funky with y'all. So everything you're gonna get here is everything that's based on my experience. That doesn't mean your experience is gonna be the exact same, okay? But I can keep it real with y'all and let you guys know how it was for me. And y'all know everything right here. You see me looking like crap every day, going through it every single day. So y'all know it's gonna be the same thing with this whole thing right up and through here. We're gonna go ahead and keep it real deal Holyfield, and you can kind of do as you wish, okay, in your own life. All right, no judgment here, okay? And that includes in the comments down below. Any negativity will be deleted. Of course, I'm gonna make sure that I put that out there right now, because we don't do that all up and through this channel, okay? Next up, I'm gonna tell you to go ahead, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And of course, thumbs up the video for these videos coming out from your girl, okay? So, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do more than one part of this video because there's a ton of questions and I wanna make sure that I answer, especially the ones that are seemingly to be more popular, okay? And you guys know I'm very detailed. I'm gonna give you everything. I even brought, not props, but I brought the actual items next to me that I'm gonna use to show you guys some of the stuff. Plus I have footage that I've saved, okay, from when I was in the hospital, during my hospital stay, okay? And things that I actually shot and haven't shown you guys thereafter, after the C-section when I came back home, including belly shots and all of that stuff, okay? So what I'm gonna do is my question answer video that's gonna answer the more general questions about parenting, twins, all that type of stuff, the birth process, all of those things, etc., etc. I will go ahead and have that in this video, and I'm gonna be doing a separate video specific to my experience with my C-section and my tips on trying to get a flatter stomach, because I do have belly shots for that video, for that particular video that I've held onto since I was in the hospital with my kids, okay? Now, there's tons of questions, and I'm literally gonna be picking them up off of my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am Socialite Sande on Instagram, okay? And that's S-A-N-D-E, okay? And for those of you guys that are not familiar with who I is, I am Sande, okay? And here you are on my daily vlog channel, TheSocialiteLifeTV. I am a daily vlogger here, a family vlogger now, because I've grown my family significantly by having twins. I recently had boy-girl twins. They are now 4 months old as of March 11th, if you can believe it. They're heading into month 5. They're the most amazing things in my entire life. They're heaven sent, the biggest blessings from God I could ever ask for. And I have an amazing husband, I have amazing family and friends, and I shoot daily vlogs of everything going on in our life and our journey in parenthood, okay? Specifically, twin parenthood and everything that we deal with on a day-to-day basis here on this channel on a day-to-day basis. So feel free, if you guys are new, to #1, subscribe, and to also check out the videos. We do have our daily vlogs in a playlist. We've got Vlogmas in playlists of different years of Vlogmas, so you can kind of see the progression before kids and after kids. And welcome to all of my new subscribers here on this channel as well. We got a lot of new members of our fam bam, which is what I lovingly call my subscribers here, because that's what we are, all right? Let's go ahead and check out Instagram. I want to make sure that I kind of prefaced everything. Also keep in mind, as you guys already know, I am very straightforward and I'm real and I'm raw and I'm uncut. So everything that I give you guys today is gonna be my experience, but it's also gonna be the truth. It's gonna be reality. It's gonna be the real deal Holyfield about my experience from whatever perspective, my perspective. And look, if you don't like it, oh well, but we are not gonna be doing anything negative in the comments. So I wanna make sure that I say that now, because those comments will not remain. They will be deleted, okay? And we're gonna be respectful in the comments to everyone, including myself, all right? So, we're gonna go ahead and just do this off the dome like we normally do. Keep in mind, like I said, I'm gonna try to get to as many questions as possible, keep them coming, and I will continue to do these videos to answer your questions as time goes. Also, please, as things come up in this video, please give me questions down below, and I will continue to do these particular videos, all right? Oh yeah, another thing is comment down below if you guys want to see videos on updates on the kids, because it's hard for me to update you guys on all the developmental things going on with them. I randomly tell you guys during videos, but I think some of you guys were asking more specifically for more formal sit down with the kids. Hi, they're at 5 months and this is how they both have developed. So if you guys want those videos, please comment that down below and thumbs up this video as well, all right? All right. There are a ton of questions and they are still coming in. Knack Shoes, and I'm gonna fuck up these damn names. Okay, so I apologize, these Instagram names. But Knack Shoes, hey boo, says, how bad was the labor pains or did you have any at all, okay? Many of you guys know that when I had my twins, I experienced preeclampsia towards the latter part of my pregnancy. And because I was experiencing preeclampsia, which is very severe high blood pressure, something that really doctors and scientists really don't know how it comes about, okay? Because you guys know I worked out my entire pregnancy, even with me being pregnant with twins, but I was always someone who worked out previous to being pregnant so I could continue to work out while having twins, okay? So yeah, I was working out up until I got preeclampsia, which is, like I said, severe high blood pressure, comes out of nowhere pretty much, but it is detrimental to not only your kids, and can be detrimental, let me say, it's not always, but it will be if you let it progress, detrimental to your kid or kids, as well as the mom, okay? So because of the preeclampsia, I ended up having to go in and get checked into the hospital. I went in a couple of different times, and then from there, I had to go ahead and deliver my babies early, and I ended up delivering my babies at 34 days and 34 weeks in 1 day, okay? So, and because of that, I ended up getting a C-section. Now, I had a choice between a C-section and whether I wanted to be induced, okay? And so the reason why I'm kind of going into that full explanation is because I personally didn't know that I would have that choice, and I didn't know I was gonna be given that choice at that moment. So when I was in the hospital, scared out of my damn mind with this whole blood pressure situation, because it was ridiculously high. I'm talking about seizure high, okay? They actually gave me a choice and said, okay, what method would you prefer to deliver your children, because we are gonna have to deliver them today. And they said, do you wanna be induced, which means I would have to go through labor. I mean, I'm talking about pushing and the cramping and all of the stuff that goes along with that, pushing the babies out, etc., etc., etc. Or C-section, which is a major surgery. I don't want to make it seem really light and fluffy like it ain't major, but when I talk about it in another video, you will probably feel like I'm being light and fluffy about it, but it's not a light and fluffy surgery. It is a major operation. It has major risks, okay? Not trying to scare you, but I'm just telling you that so that when I come across that way, you know that I'm serious when I know that, you know what I mean? But my experience with it was different than probably some people will tell you theirs was, okay? So I had a choice, and I asked them to explain to me exactly what the difference between the two was, because I wasn't even aware, because I was a new mom and I didn't know any better, and my sister didn't have a C-section when she had her child, and you know, times have changed since my mom has had her C-section, because she had C-sections, but I wasn't aware that I wouldn't be induced for a C-section. I assumed that I would have to be induced and go through the labor portion of everything, and then they would have done the operation on me. When I asked them that specifically, they said, no, 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 the C-section is literally, you know, the operation. They're gonna cut you open and they're gonna take the babies out. The actual operation itself, as far as the babies being taken out of your stomach, is gonna take a very short period of time. It's gonna be quick, but it is a major surgery, okay? So with me saying that, I didn't experience any labor pains because I chose to do a C-section versus going through being induced, okay? I will go into the reason why I chose the C-section over me being induced. I will talk about that more in my C-section video, okay? Because there's a real reason why I chose to be put under the knife, all right? So that's just to answer your question, all right? So there were no labor pains my way whatsoever, although I was contracting, but I couldn't feel them. And I was contracting most of the time, the whole time, but they were just, I just didn't feel them, okay? So hopefully that answered that question for you. Let's see. Did I wear, let's see. You know what? I'm not gonna answer that question until the C-section question. So I'll go into that in that video. Okay. How do you feel after the twins? Do you have more energy or less? She wants a shout out. So Never Whatever 21. Hey boo. Thank you for the question, Mama. Okay, and love you back, Mama. Okay, so how do you feel after the twins? Do you have more energy or less? Okay, so this is a very mixed bag. Having twins is a whole hell of a lot of work. You guys have seen it here, okay? It's a whole hell of a lot of work, but to be completely real, I don't feel like I have any less energy, and I've never really felt like that. The only thing that I've felt, and that was at the very beginning after the kids came home finally, okay, was exhaustion from not having any sleep. The lack of sleep that I had was also partly because, and the exhaustion from, I'm talking about exhaustion, sleep exhaustion, like I wanted to sleep. Not that I couldn't do what I needed to do. So at the very beginning, there was a high level of exhaustion. One, you guys know during my pregnancy, for those of you guys that have followed me for a while, I barely slept, okay? So I was already very tired from that. Then my stay at the hospital was horrendous. I'll go into more detail about that in my C-section video. Then third, it was horrendous and great. I'll go into that more in the C-section video, okay? Then third, after not having slept, okay, to then coming home and then your kids coming home and then you having to wake up every 2.5, 3 hours to actually feed them, that is another level of exhaustion. But after you get a routine down, okay, once you get a routine down, you start to get that stuff back. You're also kind of, you're healing from everything that you just went through, okay? And then there's the adrenaline rush and the crash and all of those things. But now, especially after they got a little older and we got a routine going for them, my energy level is through the roof. And the primary reason for that is, one, because I actually work out all the time. I like to keep myself in shape. I also changed my diet the minute that I had the opportunity to, you know, go ahead and start to work out, which was after the doctor cleared me. As soon as that happened, especially because of my high blood pressure that I was still dealing with even after having had the kids, okay, which is another thing I will talk about probably more so in part 2 of this video, okay, because there's a whole nother situation with the preeclampsia that I dealt with that not everyone else deals with. But when I got back from the hospital and I still had to deal with the preeclampsia, once I got clearance from the doctor to be able to start working out again, that's when I started to slowly but surely work out, okay, which was a struggle in and of itself. And then soon after that, started to clean up my eats and really start to do things like drink pure juices. So I do a lot of these pure cold pressed juices that are veggies and fruits all mixed into one. I went back to all the usual supplements, all the vitamins that I take on a day-to-day basis, and of course cleaning up all of the food, drinking more water and all of that stuff, and all of that really helped for me to regain the energy that I always have and that I've always had. So that's why I'm always so super duper high energy. Even when I'm tending to the kids and it's a rough day and they've given me a rough day, I still always have the energy to still go to the gym, still go work out, still go grocery shopping, still wash dishes, still take care of the bills and all the other things that I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, energy level is great now. At first, there was a level of exhaustion just simply because I was going from being pregnant and not sleeping at all to now having the kids at home and then having to get up and still not sleeping, you know, every 2.5 hours or so. But once we got a routine down, energy level was through the roof. So Cherise Helton or Cherie Shelton. I'm gonna say Cherie Shelton. Cherie Shelton, hey boo. She asks, did having twins hit your pocket harder than you thought? And how did you prepare financially for the twins? Okay. That's really a really good question. I did not expect that question, so thank you for that question. Did it hit harder for us? Absolutely. There's no way in God's green earth that you could ever prepare yourself for how much you're gonna spend for twins, and that's the real deal Holyfield, okay? Twins ain't no damn joke, let alone one child, okay? Because it can be expensive for one child, okay? The other side of things is that I did not breastfeed, which I will probably go to in a completely different, in the next video, okay? Because that's gonna take a little longer to explain. But that particular reason, I mean, the fact that I didn't breastfeed naturally is gonna make things more costly because of the fact that they are formula fed babies. So I'm spending money on formula, which formula is no damn joke. You guys have seen me talk about it and talk to you and show you guys the formula that they're on and how much each of those little canisters cost. And because of the type of formula they're on, one canister of formula, because we have 2 babies we're feeding and one with a very voracious appetite, we go through one can, a very small can of Infamil Infacare, which is what they're on, every day and a half, and they're each $18.99 a piece. And that is literally just formula that does not include all of the supplies you need to provide said things, i.e. bottles and all of the things, clothes and everything associated with having baby in general, but babies times 2. So imagine what you would normally buy for 1 child and multiply it by 2, okay? Because most of the time you are gonna have to buy 2, especially if you're having boy, girl. Now, if you're having a boy, boy, you may be able to get away with not having to buy as much because you're buying, you know what I'm saying? But there are gonna be some things that you're just naturally gonna have to buy 2 of because they're gonna need more than likely 2 cribs eventually, because you're not gonna be able to put, you know, you can put them in the bassinets when if they're small when they first come out, but eventually they're gonna outgrow the bassinet, as all babies do, and they're gonna need their own respective cribs, okay? So then multiply a crib times 2, okay? Multiply the amount of space you're gonna need to store everything most of the time times 2. When it comes to certain things like toys and, you know, your car seats, the bases, which are expensive as hell, multiply those times 2. So when people say it's expensive to have 1 child, multiply this shit by 2. It's expensive as hell, okay? And we knew it was gonna be expensive because we did some research previous to us actually physically having the twins. When I found out that I was having twins, I knew right away that I was gonna have to start doing my research and really pay attention to how much things cost and pay attention to sales, pay attention to coupons, which we do a lot of that here. We collect coupons now. You all know I tried to do it before, didn't really have much of a good run at it, okay, with grocery couponing, but bitch, with twins, you got a coupon, bitch. So I stay heavy on them coupons. I got my sister collecting them for me. I've got my mom collecting them for me, okay? I've got them coming from every which way, okay? Especially Bye Bye Baby coupons and Bed Bath & Beyond coupons, because they go a long as fuck ass way, because you can use the 20% coupons on anything in the store. Plus, you're gonna also know as a twin mom, as time goes, that there are discounts that you can receive when you have twins if you have to buy things in 2s or multiples, even if you're having triplets or whatever the case. They'll give you an additional 10% off at some stores because you're having to buy more than 1 of a specific item, okay? So, yeah, it was hard. It was more expensive than we thought, but we knew it was gonna be expensive. So it wasn't too much of a sticker shock for us. How do we prepare for twins, okay? Number 1, we had to start kind of just padding our pocketbooks, you know what I'm saying? So what we did was we actually went to our bank and opened up a twin account. So we have a specific account that we opened up before we even had our twins, when I was still pregnant with my twins, okay? We opened up a twin account, and it was literally an account that we would throw money into, just like a savings account, because we would still continue to save in our savings and all of our other investment accounts, but we also had an account specific to our twins, so that when it was time for us to make the big purchases and buy the formula and the bottles and all of those things, that we could go ahead and go into the twin account and it wouldn't affect any of our bills or any of the monies obtained from any place else. We wouldn't have to dip into our savings, okay, or any of that, so that we could actually buy the things that we needed, okay? So I would highly advise doing that, because I'm telling you right now, it's expensive as hell to have twins. It just is, period, point blank, it is. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different, okay? Cause they lying. Okay. So I did do that. Another thing that we did was we sat down with our accountant to kind of talk about the options that we have to be able to save for things like college, for example, because now we're gonna have to put 2 children in college, okay? And they're both gonna be going to college at the same time. At least we hope they're gonna choose to go to college, because Juice and I are both college educated. We wanna promote the same exact thing. They do have a choice on what they wanna do. We're not gonna force them to do what they don't wanna do, but we're always gonna promote higher education with our kids, because we did that and our parents did the same thing for us. So we also looked into 529 plans, which, do your research, you can Google it or whatever, but we looked into that, and to begin that process, to create those accounts for our kids, so that when it's time for them to go to school, we have the monies to be able to pay for them to go to college. So we did all of that all before we had our kids, okay? And of course, we waited until it was safe enough to assume that the kids would be just fine. So of course, after first trimester, we weren't doing this first trimester, because naturally, as you guys know, may or may not know, I had a miscarriage and I also had a chemical pregnancy that I've talked about, which if you guys want me to go into more detail about both of those things, because I have not talked about it full length here, that'll be a separate video. That has to be a separate video, because that's a whole nother situation. But I did experience those 2 things, and to be completely honest, you know, we were on pins and needles that first trimester of my pregnancy, because I was petrified I was gonna lose my kids. So we didn't do any of that stuff until after we were in the safe zone, which was after first trimester of pregnancy. pregnancy, okay? So I can't tell you enough. If you find out you're having twins or triplets, even if you're just having one child, that's the stuff that you want to start to prepare for. You start putting money aside. It's even if it's like 50 bucks, $100, we would take out literally a certain amount every check and have it automatically deposited into the twin account. And over those few months, it built so that when it was time for us to buy items for our babies, all we have to do is go into the twin account and use that card that was associated with that account, pay cash for whatever it was, and kept it moving, okay? So I hope that's good advice. There's a lot more things I could go into, so if you guys want me to go more into that, I'm more than happy to do it, but that's just kind of some of the things that we did to kind of prepare for our babies. Elisa Wilk 12, hey boo, she asks, is it harder to be a twin parent or to be a parent than you thought? Okay, now keep in mind that everything I'm going to talk about is in relation to me being a twin parent, but it does apply to being a singleton parent as well, or just having kids in general, all right? I don't want you guys to think that, but it's just because that's my situation currently, all right? So is it harder than you thought? No. I knew that it was going to be rough because I thankfully was able to really experience taking care of a child when my nephew was born. You guys know that I'm very close with my nephew Caden. I call him my Pookie Poo or my Poo, and you guys have seen him grow up here on this channel. And yeah, I mean, from the minute he was, conceived damn near, when he was in the stomach, I already had a relationship with my nephew because my sister was a young mom and she was scared. And so of course, as her big sister, I'm gonna be there for her to make sure that, you know, everything's cool. And so I accompanied her to doctor's visits. We would go to Babies R Us together to look at things and those types of things. And when Caden was born, I was also there to help out with that as well. So my mom helped and so did I. So I was up at night with her and Caden. So I got to experience all of that in addition to the fact that I was there when she had him. I'm also his godmother. So I got to experience a lot of that, and he is actually who opened my eyes to the notion of me possibly wanting to eventually have kids, because I have never been the person that was rushing to have kids, that really wanted to have kids. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to have kids, to be completely honest, for a very, very long time. And Caden really opened that door for me to see the love that comes from being a parent, because even though he's not my child, I love him like he's mine. So I always, you know, say very sentimentally that he was my firstborn, and some of you guys are confused, like, wait a minute, why don't you ever show him? Why are you never with you? Why didn't he doesn't live with you? Because so many people asked that when I showed you guys him playing basketball. But I call him my first because he wants me to, and he asked me to, because once the kids were, you know, on their way here, he was nervous that I was going to forget him, which I never would. And he's just everything to me. So I was calling him my firstborn for that reason. So anyway, but yeah, it's not harder than I knew it was gonna be hard. I just knew it was gonna be hard. Juice is probably the one that got really, really shocked about how hard it was gonna be, because y'all know, if you followed our whole journey, his ass was like, oh, piece of cake. Remember that? Y'all remember that? Piece of cake. Ain't gonna be nothing. We just gonna pop a bottle. We just gonna make a little bottle for the baby, and they're gonna be fine. They're gonna eat that formula. They're gonna be fine. And he quickly found out how hard it was after those babies came home, and how tired we were and how much we had to get up. But me, I was ready for it. You know what I mean? So I already knew what it was like to not sleep, because I was doing that my whole pregnancy. I already knew what to expect because I experienced it with my nephew, my firstborn. So it wasn't hard. It was hard, but I knew it would be. Okay, so Jennifer J 21, hey honey bunny, I recognize so many of you guys from YouTube and of course Instagram comments when we're interacting with each other or whatever. So anyway, thank you so much for your comment, honey bunny, and love you back. I just saw that on the bottom of your question. How do you find time for your man? I have a 10-month-old and feels like I never have time with my hubby, and she's a longtime Fam Bam member and loves us. Thank you so much, love you back. Okay. So this is a question I'm really glad that someone asked, and there's actually several people that have asked questions related to that. And here's the thing, it's really funny because we could get flack for this. We get a lot of flack for it, generally speaking. I'll see it in the comments of some of these videos, and clearly I don't respond to them because I could care less about them. But to answer the question so that you understand why it is that we do what we do, how do we find time for each other? It's difficult. Okay, now I know it's not even just because we have twins, okay? It's just simply because when you become a parent, your child or children become the #1 priority in your fucking life, period. No one comes before your kids, and that includes each other, okay? So it is very easy as parents, okay, and as husband and wife or new parents to lose track of each other because they are so so wound up in everything related to being newborn parents, okay? Because literally your kids are everything. That is life, that is it. Life is over, okay? Now I know a lot of people also talk about the fact that they don't really have the same relationship with their husband or significant other after they have kids. And that is the one thing that Juice and I swore we would never do, okay? So even before we got pregnant, that was the one thing that we had talked about at length. If we're gonna do this, if we're gonna attempt to have children, if we're gonna grow our family and have kids, that we are gonna make time with each other just as much of a priority. Not the same exactly, but very much an important part of our life, because it's very easy to get lost in parenthood and that being your only thing that you focus on, okay? Now you guys know we hold each other, we kiss each other, we embrace each other. You guys see it here on the channel all the time. We're goofballs, that's what we do. But even after having kids, you embrace the kids and kiss the kids more than you do each other. It's very easy to get lost in that, okay? So for us, it's important for us to have our date nights, okay? Now I've had people comment on my Instagram and on my videos and be like, girl, for y'all being new parents, you sure do go out a lot. I'm like, what, every other Saturday? Ain't nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with trying to make time to be with your man or your boo-boo, okay? Because I know not everyone is in a male-female relationship, honey, okay? There's nothing wrong at all with making time to be with your significant other. In fact, that's exactly what the fuck you should be doing, because believe me, you will always be good parents as long as you put that energy and effort into it. But if you guys lose each other, y'all have lost. Okay? And that don't mean go out and spend expensive, ridiculous amounts of money, okay? On a date night with each other. You guys see us here. We go to movies and dinner. We are not all over the place doing the craziest and most expensive shit on the motherfucking planet, but are we making it a point to find the time, to find that adult time with each other so we can hold each other, embrace each other, hold each other's hand, you know, all that adult shit and everything else? Abso-fucking-lutely. And are we willing to pay for said situation or said evening? Absolutely. And that's when a sitter or family and friends comes in handy. So please don't ever feel guilty of going out and taking yourself a little bit of a break with each other to take some time, because I'm telling you right now, if you guys aren't happy with each other, if you don't make yourselves a priority with each other, y'all are not going to survive as parents, okay? And your relationship may not survive either. It is vitally important to find that time between the two of you guys to remember what the foundation was before all of this happened, okay? So don't ever feel guilty about that. I certainly don't, okay? I do what I do, honey boo boo, okay? So at the end of the day, that stuff right there is what helps keep this glue together in this household, and I advise everyone to do the same thing. So one thing I would highly recommend, okay, is, and not everyone can afford a sitter, I get that, but if you have family and friends that are willing to take a little bit of time to just hang out with your child or children just for a few hours so that you guys can take a few hours and just relax a little bit and go and watch a movie or look at each other. Hell, you don't have to have anything major planned. Do it. Take advantage of it, especially if that shit's free 99, okay? But I can't tell you enough how important it is to make sure that you find the time with each other. So even if it's that, like for instance, we live in a small home, so us getting away from family is, you know, from family watching our kids, if we were to want to go upstairs and just get some rest and then let them watch the kids downstairs, that's not possible in our household because we ain't got no upstairs downstairs. We got a little basement, but that's it, okay? But even having your mom or your dad or a friend or somebody or a sitter, whatever, come over, even if it's at the very beginning, someone that you trust, okay? You may not want to do that right away when you first have your kids, but after they've, you know, you've gotten a little bit of, you know, a routine down and you know that you can trust maybe your mom or whoever, have them come over and just go upstairs, go to your bedroom with your husband or your boo-boo, okay? And you lay down and you just sleep, okay? Get some rest, or just watch a movie, okay? You don't have to leave your house to find that time, but see, if you have that support system, which we don't have as many people we can use to do that, which is why, you know, we do what we do, okay? But if there's tons of people that have friends and family, plethora of family that can help with that stuff, don't ever be hesitant to ask somebody for help and to see if they can come and sit your kids and give you guys a little bit of time to just get away for a little bit, because I promise y'all, it will make your relationship even stronger for that, and then it'll give you, you know, it'll freshen you guys up, so when you have to come back home, it's just, you guys are just that much stronger so that you can be that strong support system for your kid or your kids. Okay, y'all, so here is where I thought would be a good place for me to end part 1 of this Q&A, and the only reason for that is because it's already 30 minutes long, so I want to give y'all a break, all right? So So stay tuned for part 2 of my question answer video, and I will be answering even more of your amazing questions. Please feel free to leave questions down below for me to answer in future Q&A videos. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, please make sure to thumbs up this video and comment down below and let me know if you guys want me to do more of these, especially if you guys also, in addition to this, want me to do updates on the kids specifically in separate videos, specific to developmental, monumental, whatever things that they might be doing at each stage of their development, okay? So comment down below, let me know. Thumbs up this video if you love seeing these videos from your girl, and make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button just so you can find out when we upload new vlogs, because y'all know the deal. YouTube be trippin'. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all in part 2 of this video.